Hi, it's Tish Hawkin, life coach and confidence coach. I hope everybody's okay. It's Thursday, so that means it's the you build your confidence for success show. This is episode number 4, and today we're going to be talking about overcoming the fear of judgment, which is huge for a lot of people. So if you're tuning in, guys, please let me know. Type hashtag live in the comments, or if you're watching on replay, type hashtag replay. Got my glasses on today because I couldn't see the comments last time, so I just hope they don't reflect too much. So I hope everyone's okay. I'm coming to you from the UK at the moment, and it's a very grey day, unfortunately. So who is this for? Who is this show for? Well, this show is for primarily people who have got businesses who are trying to get themselves online and be visible, because it can be really tormenting and really petrifying to be able to put yourself out there online, even just posting about your business, about your life, never mind going live like this. But if you are somebody who just wants to develop self confidence in general, then please do follow these lives because you still will get a lot of value out of it. And that is because developing self confidence um, all comes from the same things. It's all developed in the same way over time. So you can absolutely watch this if you're not a business owner. So if you know anybody that would benefit from these videos, then please do share them to that person or into groups or pages. It would help them hopefully, and it would be a good thing to be able to spread this message that you absolutely can overcome your confidence issues. You definitely can. So, as I said, today we're going to talk about the fear of being judged, which is just huge for a lot of people. Never mind in the online space, just anywhere out in life, it's very common. It's common for people to want to be liked. We all want to be liked. We all want to be accepted. Nobody wants to be rejected. But what happens is if you've got what I call a confidence goal, so if there's something you want to do, or if there's the kind of person that you want to be, but you haven't got enough confidence to be able to do those things, you're going to be kept small by the fear of what people are thinking about you. You're going to be kept small, and so it's really important that you learn to overcome the fear of judgment, because you don't want to be crippled by this whatsoever. You don't want to be a person who has got goals they want to reach and you can't do it, or you feel you can't do it because you are absolutely crippled by the fear of what people will say, um, how they will receive you, if they'll reject you, if they'll laugh at you. And you definitely don't want to be in that space, especially if you've got an online business that you're trying to get online, because you need to be visible to do that. So, what we have to remember is when we are making assumptions about what people will think of us, that's what they are. We're assuming, we're making assumptions. We can't possibly know what people are thinking. You can't possibly know it, unless they tell you, which is highly unlikely. So when we make assumptions, it's a negative pattern of thinking. And when we make those assumptions, it's very easy to believe that people are thinking bad things of us, or people are judging us negatively, or they're laughing at us. It's easy to believe that, or believe that it will happen, which then keeps you stuck and not being able to move forward to developing your confidence to do the very thing you want to do. So we have to understand they're movies that we're creating in our head, and they're not real. They're just movies. Um, in other words, they're stories we're telling ourselves. We're making assumptions about what other people are thinking, and they're stories we're telling ourselves, and we can't possibly know. But what we also have to understand is that there will be some people who can be a bit mean, may judge us from time to time. And when you come across people like that, please know that it's always about something that's going on inside of them. It's never about you. The part that you play is that you've been a catalyst or a trigger for their issues. That's all. It doesn't mean that you are bad at what you do, or you're laughable, or you're not good enough. All it means is that you've triggered something within them. And actually, being a catalyst for other people, when we trigger other people, what that can actually do is be a starting point for them starting to develop and grow as a person. So you're actually probably doing them a favor if you want to look at it at the positive side. So when people are negative towards you, always remember that it's because of something inside of them. It's not you. So where does this actually come from? This fear that a lot of people seem to have of not being liked, of being judged. Well, it goes back to times of when we were early humans, caveman times. And when you think about it, if we were in a tribe and we did something, or we stood out from the crowd, or we did something which people didn't like in the tribe, there was a real risk that we would be ostracized from the tribe, we'd be isolated. And isolation in those days means no warmth, no shelter, no food, and possible death. And so it's actually built into us to want to be part of a family, a friendship group, a tribe. It's part of our intrinsic nature. So when we fear that people won't like us, it can become petrifying. And that is why. And one of the reasons why, actually, another reason why is maybe you had a difficult experience as a younger person, or in your youth as a child, where you were ostracized because of something you said or did, or maybe you did have a really um, gregarious personality and you were shot down for it. And then what might have happened is that you form beliefs that you can never be that person who stands out again because you'll be shot down for it, which isn't the case necessarily. So, how do we stop it? Well, I'll tell you that in a second. In about 2 minutes, I'll tell you that, maybe three. But first of all, I want to tell you about a client I had. Now, I'm going to change her name, and I've had her permission to tell this story, but her name has changed. Her name is Carrie, and she came to me because she had an online business all ready to go. She knew what a service was, but she could not get visible online to be able to let people know what she was doing. She just couldn't move past it. Absolutely petrified her. Just to post about what she was doing, to post about little snippets of behind the scenes and her life, to never mind going live. I mean, that was an absolute no no. So once we unpicked it and unpacked it, it came about that when Carrie was 12, she was cast in a play at school. And unfortunately, she had a very negative parent. And that parent ridiculed her and criticized her and told her that she'd never be able to do the part correctly and she'd forget her lines, and just totally negative. Of course, as a child, this had a really terrible effect on Carrie, and she eventually pulled out of the play, having formed the belief that she wasn't good enough, that if she did put herself out there in any way, shape, or form, she would be criticized and ridiculed. So here she is now as an adult, ready to get going with a business online, and she was absolutely crippled with fear. She couldn't do it because she was convinced the same thing was going to happen. So what Carrie came to realize after working with me was that her past was playing out in her present day. That is to say, her experience then in the past was actually playing itself out with her trying to get her business online. And so we did some work where she understood that if she took action and started to get visible online, that actually the same thing probably wouldn't happen. And guess what? It didn't. It didn't happen. And she's doing really well now, I'm pleased to say. So Carrie is a real life example of how you can overcome fear of judgment, and myself included as well. Hi, Alison. Hi. Myself included. As many of you might know, I'm an ex performer, and at the age of 16, I made my first appearance on stage, and I was absolutely petrified. But I knew that if I wanted to do this as a career, which it was a career for me, it was a 20-year career, I had to move past it. I had to move past it. I had to not worry about what people thought. That took time. That took a lot of time. Um, because it's natural. It's natural to think that way. Now, what I want to do before I finish is just reiterate how thoughts, feelings, and emotions link up together. Because once you understand this, many of you will have heard it before. It's quite a taught concept. It's from cognitive behavioral therapy, but some of you might not. So, for those who might not, so thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are all linked together. So, if you've got a thought of, I can't step up out of my comfort zone for fear of what people will say, that's the negative thought, which then leads to a negative emotion, which could be um, fear, could be failure. You feel like you failed because you can't do the very thing you want to do. Could be frustration. It could be real sadness. And what happens then is your behavior becomes that of not doing the very thing that you want to do. So you have the negative thought that links to the negative emotion, that links to the behavior that keeps you stuck, basically. So on the opposite hand, if you have a positive thought of, if I put myself out there in a way that I never have done, but I really want to, what's the worst that can happen? And then you can start tracing the positive feelings down up to the positive behaviors. If you take the action, action helps you to reframe things, and you will find that once you do start to put yourself out there in whatever capacity in life, if you want to speak up with somebody, you want to have a conversation that you're fearing, if you want to, I don't know, ask somebody out on a date, if there's something to do with confidence and you're scared of what people will say, if you just take that action and you just try, you'll see that it probably won't be as bad as you thought it was. So that's it for today. I'll be back on Monday with another Build Your Confidence for success, not success show. And I don't know what the topic's going to be, but I'm going to pick a really good one for Monday. So I hope everyone's okay. Don't forget to share this video in groups or tag your friends in it if you think they might benefit from it. And I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye for now.